All right, think about this for a second. No matter where you are right now, there's a huge, hidden world absolutely teeming with life. And it's doing critical work for our planet. And it's all happening right under your feet. We walk over it every single day, but we almost never give it a second thought.
Now, if you're feeling a little skeptical about all this, hey, you're not alone. The researchers who study this stuff, they get questions like this all the time. Or things like, are we seriously worried about some blind shrimp nobody's ever even seen? And you know what? Those are fair questions because they get right to the heart of how much we misunderstand this hidden realm.
So that's exactly what we're going to dig into. We're going to pull back the curtain, or I guess the topsoil, and answer those two massive questions. What is actually down there? And way more importantly, why on earth should it matter to any of us living up here on the surface? To really get a handle on the world beneath us, we've got to start with a pretty simple problem. The fact that we've basically ignored it. For pretty much all of human history, whatever happens underground has been treated like, well, like it's nothing, just an empty space. But that couldn't be further from the truth. It is the classic case of out of sight, out of mind, right? We tend to think of the ground as just dirt, rocks, maybe a few caves here and there. But the reality is so much more amazing. It's a living, breathing network of ecosystems that quietly supports almost everything we see and do. Seriously, from the food on our plates to the very air we breathe. So, to really wrap our heads around its value, we need a way to talk about it. And scientists have a really useful concept for this called ecosystem services. Now, it might sound a bit technical, but the idea is super simple. It's basically all the stuff nature does that helps us out and keeps society going, usually for free. And these services usually get broken down into three main buckets. First, you've got provisioning. That's the actual stuff we can get, like fresh water or food. Then there's regulation and maintenance. These are the background processes that keep our world stable, like climate control or even pollination. And finally, cultural services. All the non-material benefits that make our lives richer, from scientific breakthroughs to pure artistic inspiration. So keep those three in mind. Okay, so we've got the framework. Now we can use it to measure something that is, honestly, pretty shocking. The incredible scale of the gifts that are coming from right beneath our feet. So let me ask you the big question. When you think about all the work that nature does, from the deepest oceans to the tallest rainforests, what slice of that pie, what percentage do you think happens underground?
The answer is 75%. And that is staggering. A massive global study found that these subterranean ecosystems contribute to 3/4 of all the ecosystem services we've identified. I mean, to put that into perspective, that's a bigger contribution than grasslands or even mangrove forests. The hidden world is doing most of the heavy lifting.
And here you can see how it all breaks down across those three categories we just talked about: provisioning, regulation, and cultural. The bars show you what's coming from underground systems on land, in freshwater, and in the oceans. And what's just wild is how broad the impact is. It's hitting every single category. Now check this out. Look where all those benefits are going. You can literally follow the lines from the underground systems on the left, through the type of service, and all the way over to every part of our economy on the right, from farming and mining right on through to science and education. It's like this hidden engine that's powering our entire society. Okay, let's make this feel a little more real. We'll start with the most basic, most fundamental provisioning service there is: water. You know, the stuff we drink, grow our food with, and run our industries on. Get this. An incredible 95% of our planet's usable liquid fresh water is groundwater. It's not in the lakes and rivers that we can see. It's tucked away underground. And this single resource supports more than 1/4 of the entire global population. It's a huge deal. All right, let's switch gears to a regulation service. I want you to meet one of the underground's unsung heroes, the insect-eating bat. Millions and millions of them live inside caves, and every night they fly out and act as nature's super efficient pest control. So what's a service like that worth? Well, just in North America alone, the economic value of bats chowing down on agricultural pests is estimated to be more than $3.7 billion every single year. That's a direct subsidy to our food system, and it's all thanks to these little cave dwellers. And these connections can get really specific and, frankly, pretty cool. For example, there are certain cave-dwelling bats that are the #1 pollinators for the agave plant. So no bats, no agave. And no agave means, well, no tequila and no mezcal. It's a perfect direct line from a fitting ecosystem to a product you might have on your shelf right now.
But the gifts from down below can also be incredibly high-tech. Take the blind cavefish. To survive in a place with almost no food, it evolved a natural resistance to insulin. And now, scientists are studying that very adaptation for possible breakthroughs in how we treat diabetes in people. That's a journey from a remote, dark cave straight to a modern clinic. Just amazing.
But, this isn't just about what we can drink or eat or turn into medicine. The influence of the underground actually runs way deeper, right into our culture and who we are as people. These hidden worlds have shaped us in some really profound, non-material ways. For literally thousands of years, humans have looked at caves and other underground spaces as powerful, spiritual places. The ancient Maya, for example, believed that cenotes, those incredible water-filled sinkholes, were actual gateways to the underworld, a place they called Xibalba. They were sacred, and they were the source of life-giving water. And of course, that deep sense of mystery, it's like rocket fuel for our creativity. It's everywhere, from ancient myths about dragons and their lairs, all the way to classic adventures like Jules Verne's journey to the center of the earth. The underground has always been this incredible landscape for our imagination to play in. These spaces are also completely invaluable to science. Because they're so stable, they're like perfect natural laboratories. The layers inside a single stalagmite can give us a super detailed record of thousands of years of climate history. And the unique creatures that have adapted to live there, they're perfect models for understanding the rules of evolution. And get this, the scientific value even stretches beyond our own planet. Scientists now think that if life does exist or ever existed on Mars, the best and safest place to find it would be deep inside underground lava tubes, where it's protected from that harsh surface. So what do? They study caves right here on Earth as practice runs for space exploration.
So when you start to add it all up, from the water we need to survive to the stories that define us, all the way to our search for life on other planets, it becomes crystal clear. The world beneath our feet isn't empty space. It's not trivial. It's absolutely essential.
And that leaves us with this one final, kind of mind-bending question. We spend so much time and energy looking up, searching distant galaxies for answers and for inspiration. But what if some of the most important solutions, the most incredible discoveries, and the deepest wonders we've been looking for have been right here the whole time, just waiting for us to finally look down?